Most 20-year-olds are stressing about paying rent, but when I was 20 years old, I found a way to completely eliminate rent basically altogether and actually start building my wealth in the process. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over something that's pretty special to my heart because it's definitely changed my life, and that's called house hacking. So I'm going to dive into what house hacking is and how you can get started kind of wherever you are in life. If it's a thing that works for you, it can be one of the most powerful things in real estate, I feel like, to get you from point A to point B. So let's dive into that right now. Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Shane Moynihan. I'm a real estate agent and investor based out of Keene, New Hampshire. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate around here, feel free to give me a call, reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions, or just right below in the description, I have a link to my calendar that you can schedule a 30-minute call, and we can just hop on a Zoom call, talk about what your real estate plans are, real estate goals are, see if I'm a good fit for you and how I can help. So feel free to click that down below, and let's get right on into house hacking. So just for a quick little background of where I was and how I got into house hacking, because real estate investing seems like one of those things that you can only do if you have a ton of money or like you're an older person. But I was able to do it at 20 years old, and it was pretty cool to do and experience. So the reason I did it was because I was actually out of high school. I didn't go to college or anything. I just went and started working at a manufacturing job doing shipping. I was working 50 hours a week or so. Did not like that job. Actually got fired from it. They said something. I don't think I did it. They couldn't prove it. They walked me out. Anyways, it was the best thing that happened, because then I moved from where I was living out to Keene, where I live now, rented an apartment for a year, got a job, and then was able to purchase a house because even though I switched jobs, I still had good three and a half years of work history and making okay money. Not really. I mean, I don't think I ever got paid more than like $17 an hour. But that's not no more. Anyways, when I was there, that's when I really started looking for houses. At the time, these numbers are gonna be a little skewed. You're gonna be like, well, I can't find those numbers. Well, it's a different time, so of course things are gonna change a little bit, but I just wanna go into my first purchase and show you how it works. So at the time, I wasn't making a ton of money, like I said. I couldn't find a single family house. So then I started looking for options, started reading books about how to make more money because I needed more money. And then I also started listening to a ton of podcasts because one of my jobs was a delivery driver. So I had a ton of time to listen to things, which was awesome. So I just kind of drove around for 5, 6, 7 hours a day listening to podcasts like Bigger Pockets, Real Estate Investing, just overall mindset type podcasts, and got into what was house hacking and read all about it. So that's where I kind of committed to the idea, because I thought, hey, if I can eliminate spending $1,600 on rent while owning a house, that seems pretty cool. I want to get into that. And that's where this story kind of begins. So to fast forward a little bit, I'm going to go into my purchase. Again, this was a different time. There was a lot of properties on the market. It was back in 2019, right before the whole explosion because of the pandemic and COVID hitting and prices skyrocketing. So this was a slower time in real estate. Like, you had time like to schedule 2-3 showings before a property was under contract. So I almost had too much because I was overthinking it. I ended up landing on one for $172,000, and I was using an FHA loan. So I was going to owner occupy this property because, again, I was purchasing a house. So I was able to get it for 3.5% down, which was about $5,020. That was my all-in cost for purchasing this house. Now, house hacking means buying a small multifamily property. Small is considered 2 to 4 units. Anything above 4 units, 5 plus, is considered a commercial loan, and you have to have more money and put 20% down. So 2 to 4 units is the sweet spot for house hacking, because you can live in it as your primary, rent out the remaining units while still being able to use a primary resident loan, which is the biggest part about this, because again, I got in for 3.5% down. It was a different time, so I didn't have to finance as much as you would now. So my mortgage payment was only about $1,450. I lived upstairs. I had a tenant that I inherited from the previous seller living downstairs. She was paying $1,400 a month. I was paying $1,450 for a mortgage. So I was really paying $50 to live there. Going from an apartment I was just paying $1,600 to a landlord to now being the landlord and being able to pay my mortgage and live for free. It really changed everything for me, and it's just like one of those things that I see a lot of people talk about, but not a ton of people do it. I've helped at least 4 buyers over my years do it. I've helped more with investments, but people that actually move into the house, I've helped about 4 or 5 of them, if I'm remembering correctly. One is my girlfriend that we're living in right now. We're living in one side, other side's rented. So it's really a life-changing thing, especially seeing other people go through it, because like in my case, I was working, even when I bought my first multifamily, I wasn't a real estate agent at the time. I was still just a regular W-2 employee doing my delivery driving job. But since I had this, now that I was able to save more money and wasn't as stressed out trying to cover rent and my car payment and all that stuff, well, I actually had to get rid of my car payment to be able to afford my house. So I was really doing pretty well there. And once I did that is when I said, well, I don't want to be at the shop, because I didn't really have a plan coming out of high school, but I knew I didn't want to go to college because I didn't really have an interest in anything. My interest was kind of found through real estate investing. I was like, ooh, I like real estate a lot. So I became a sales agent. And the only way that happened was because I didn't have to worry about paying rent. So that means I went part-time at my job and part-time at real estate. That ended up not working so well. So when I bought my second property, I went full-time real estate. And now that I'm full-time, all gas ahead, it's going way better. Works a lot better when you have your full focus on one thing and growing your business. Now, just a little, so that was just kind of, I want to tell this kind of a story, but on your side, the way you can get into it, it doesn't really matter how old you are. If you're just looking for your first time house, or maybe you just sold a house and you're looking to buy another, or you're looking to relocate to a new area and maybe you're mid-30s or something. It doesn't matter what age you are. It just matters, hey, how do I want to live? If you're okay, like I was used to renting for a few years because I moved out of my parents and was renting. So I was already used to the apartment feel and I didn't mind it. No, it's not a single family home. No, it doesn't feel super homey, but I was okay with it, especially if it meant I could live for free. So I've done it twice already, and now I'm kind of doing it a third time because my girlfriend bought this place and I'm living with her and renting both my properties now. So wherever you're at, look for 2 to 4 units. And the thing you're going to have to look for now is more of a good property that should be able to survive if you leave it. Because chances of you finding cash flow in this market right now with like a low down payment, 3.5%, 5% down loan is going to be pretty hard to find, if not impossible to find, just because it's hard enough to cash flow with these interest rates and prices with 20% down, let alone putting 3.5% to 5%. Now, that doesn't mean it's not a good purchase. If you like the property, like this one that we're in, it's more of a single family on this side with an ADU attached to the back. So it feels like a regular house. That is a lot different type of living situation than when I was living up and down. That felt more like an apartment. So it depends what you're comfortable with and how much you want to actually cover. Like the one we're in now, it's not covering the full mortgage because guess what? We just bought it this year. Prices have gone up. Interest rates are a little bit higher. And that's a pretty small unit over there. We took the bigger unit. So it's not covering the mortgage by any means, but it's significantly helping the mortgage. So it's really finding that middle ground. Even if it's not going to be a great investment, well, would you rather buy a nice house that will someday be a good investment property that you can live in for half the mortgage of if you went and bought the same thing but a single family? So it's really up to you. And for first-time home buyers, a lot of people get really scared of the landlording aspect. But the good things about it is, one, really read up and educate on it. It's pretty simple. I mean, you have to be able to, I guess, read people and actually do background checks, credit checks, and go through them, vet them, make sure they're a good tenant. A lot of people don't do that, and then they say they hate landlording. If you do that, chances are you're going to have really nice tenants, and hopefully, if you have a good heart, you'll care about those tenants and care about your property and take care of them, and they'll be like, this is the best landlord ever. So try doing that for a change. And then also, like, if you're just living out the property as your primary residence, you get to pick whoever you want as your tenant. Fair housing laws don't apply if it's your primary residence. So you can pick whomever you'd like. Some people think, oh, well, if I put up a rental, I have to look at everyone fairly and pick the best person. No, you pick the best person in your eyes that fits the unit, especially if you're living here. So, yeah, that was kind of my video about house hacking. It can be a super, super game changer because, again, in this market, you're not going to be able to find something that you put super low money down, live in it for a year, because you'll see this on all the stuff. You live in it for a year, go buy another one, that one will cash flow. It's probably not going to cash flow that quickly in this market just because prices are inflated. It doesn't mean it's not bad and won't still significantly help your housing situation and be able to store away more and more money. So it's kind of really assessing where you're at, understanding how to do it, and definitely do some research by reading some books, really breaking down the numbers. And I can definitely make a video about that if you'd like. Put that down in the comments below if you'd like a video about that. And if you have any other questions, or if you are looking to buy a property, if it's something like a multifamily or single family, or if you're selling, I have a link right below in the description that goes to my calendar where you can book a free 30-minute call. We can get on a Zoom, talk about your real estate goals, and see if I'm a good fit. So I hope this video added some value, and if it did, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next week with another video.